Hey everyone, hope you guys are all doing well. I'm going to do a collective reading. We're going to see what the message is from Spirit today, okay? Keep in mind it's general. It could be past, present, future. You will know best where this resonates, okay? How this resonates, if it resonates at all. So let's just get straight into the message today, guys. What do you need to know at this time? What is happening here in the collective today? What is going on in the collective today? Let's see. All right, we have the Two of Pentacles at the bottom. The Ten of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Page of Wands. The message today has something to do with carrying a burden. Carrying a burden. Something feeling extremely hard when it comes to building stability. Something feeling extremely hard when it comes to a stable home, a stable foundation. Okay. Let's see what this is. Why is the Ten of Wands here? Why is the Ten of Wands here? Judgment. The Seven of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Swords. This has to do with someone calling judgment on a situation and exposing something. Exposing something about a hard time or a lot of hardship or possibly going through a lot. So maybe there's something here that you need to talk about, okay? Maybe there's something here that you need to expose or bring to the light, call judgment on. Okay, why is that Four of Wands here? The Four of Cups. The Hierophant. And Justice. This is the, I mean, when the Hierophant and Justice come out next to each other, for me, that is the law. That is the court of law. Or this is about upholding tradition, upholding values. Okay, upholding the law. Something being made fair, something balancing out. Okay, what's the Page of Wands? The Magician, the Three of Wands in reverse. This has to do with something that was manipulated when it comes to not seeing the future. The Ten of Cups. Okay, the High Priest is at the bottom, and I was just about to say, okay, so I didn't want to like come into the reading with the message, but there was something that was going through my mind yesterday. After doing that reading, the last reading, what was it called again? The mental strength one. People can't fathom how you got through something here, right? And I was thinking about a reading that I did a long time ago. I can't remember when this was, but in that reading, I was talking about the time with COVID, okay, around 2020. Maybe if you guys, some of you that have been watching for a while, you might remember that. I don't know. But in that reading, it might even be a Divine Feminine reading. I don't remember. I was talking about, or the topic of conversation was depression and going through times in your life where, you know, you feel like giving up. Okay. And that's what I'm getting here with this, the Three of Wands in reverse and the High Priestess, because I was thinking about that reading yesterday. Because during that COVID time, you know, the rates of self-deleting yourself, okay, and thank you for whoever you were that put that in the comments, yeah, for self-deleting yourself, they like skyrocketed, right? A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people were dealing with immense devastation, okay, in their personal lives, a lot of depression. Nobody knew what was coming. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew when it was going to get better, okay? People out of work, people starving, okay? No job opportunities. It was a really hard time for a lot of people. And I was thinking about that, came up for me again after the reading yesterday, because the reading yesterday was about, some sort of financial hardship and something about, self-deleting, right? And I was thinking about that reading again, because I've done a reading like that about that time. And again, here was something like feeling extremely hard, like going through a very hard time. Going through a very hard time here where, things might have felt like a lot. So whoever you are, maybe you have gone through a time in your life in the past. This could be happening right now, okay? Or for some of you, this happened a long time ago, right? It doesn't have to be present time, but maybe at some point you did reach a point in your life where you really felt like you couldn't take it anymore, okay? The burden was a lot. There was a lot on your plate. The responsibility felt like it was too much, or you just didn't know how to do it. You just, you were in a depressive state, and that can come on from a lot of different reasons, okay? Maybe you were dealing with some sort of trauma. Maybe there was a lot of problems within your relationships, okay? But it feels like I feel like it is something that Spirit wants me to talk about today. Okay. Tell me more about this 10 of Wands, please. The 5 of Wands. A fight, an argument, the Star. A fight, an argument. So you could have been struggling here in the past. Or I'll just say you could have been, you'll know if it's the past, okay? The 9 of Swords. But you could have been struggling here in a time where there was a lot of fighting, okay? It might be within, like I said, relationships or a significant relationship in your life. A lot of fighting, a lot of arguing, okay? Maybe something felt very hard. Maybe you were also fighting with someone about the fact that things felt so hard for you. Maybe you were dealing with someone that made you feel misunderstood, or like they didn't really care about what you're going through, or maybe they couldn't really empathize, okay? Maybe they didn't show a lot of compassion here. You could have been going through a time where you were dealing with a lot of stress, anxiety, worrying, okay? Yeah, it's giving me really worrying about the future, worrying about what's going to come, worrying about if you can take this, like if you can really do this, okay? Maybe it feels like a hard time for someone here. Tell me more about this arguing, this fighting. The 8 of Cups, fighting about wanting to leave everything behind. What's that? The 8 of Cups. A breakup, a separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment. Yeah. Okay, so what I feel like happened here is that you might have been dealing with a person. It feels like a significant other, or maybe it's also family, okay? I feel like the 8 of Cups is like you fighting with people, arguing with people because you felt abandoned, okay? Or maybe you just felt like people didn't care. Like people saw you struggling. People saw that you had way too much on your shoulders, but everybody around you was like so preoccupied with their own lives that they were unable to bring up any kind of empathy for you, okay? And I feel like what's taxing about that kind of a situation is you might feel like you're the kind of person that's always there for other people when they need you, okay? You're always there and wanting to show them support or wanting to show them some sort of empathy. I'm always here, just ask me if you need help. And then the other way around, if you're really struggling and you feel like you have no one, okay? You feel like no one cares. You feel like you're being abandoned. Maybe people even giving you the silent treatment, okay? It's like, I really need someone right now, and all I'm getting is the cold shoulder. Okay, I'm just getting left out and having to fight about the fact that I'm like drowning, okay? That's what this is giving me. What else? Death. Yeah, so honestly, if I'm being very honest right now, and this doesn't have to be all of you, okay? Just take it how it resonates. But for someone in the collective here, you, in this time of your life, you might have been struggling with some sort of thoughts of self-deleting. Okay? And if that reading was coming up for me last night for some reason where I was talking about 2020 COVID, that could be significant. So it makes me feel like this isn't now, this was a long time ago. Okay. The moon, because you were struggling in secret. You felt like you had to do this in secret. You felt very maybe lonely. Okay. You felt like maybe you had a lot of fears. Okay. What else? The Eight of Wands. Why is Judgment here? The Page of Cups in reverse. What's the Page of Cups reverse? The Four of Wands. This has to do with a home situation. A happy home, a home. Why is that here? Because of dating someone new, meeting someone new. The truth coming out about something. The Three of Swords. Okay, some sort of heartbreak. Okay, and this is really funny that this is coming out that way as well. Okay, because also while I was thinking about that reading, there was a person that popped into my head. Okay, and I don't have anything to do with this person anymore. I knew them a long time ago, but this person was also kind of like an earth angel. Okay, and whenever I met this person, it was the strangest thing ever, because I had never met someone that was like me. Okay, so if you're a super empath, and you might be a bit psychic, and you feel like when you talk to people, you understand them on a deeper level. You feel like you see into their soul. You feel like you understand their emotions. You feel like you can tell them about themselves better than they understand themselves. Okay. You feel like you can feel what they feel, right? But you might also feel like only you can do that. Like you don't know anyone that can do that like you. And I was thinking about this person for some weird reason, and when I met this person, it kind of freaked me out because they were like me. Okay, this person was a super empath like me, and they came into my life when I was going through a hard time. Okay, and it was the weirdest thing. I had never met someone that could like understand me in that way. Okay, like without me having to say much. Like they were super understanding and super compassionate. And I'm kind of getting that with like, I'm not getting this date as in like cheating, dating someone new. I'm getting it as like you met someone. Okay, or you might be meeting someone, or maybe you know someone like this. Okay, or maybe someone like this is coming into your life, or they did in the past, but this is just someone that you meet. Okay, someone that comes along maybe in a time where you're going through a hard time, maybe comes along when you're going through a lot of heartbreak and pain, right? And with this person had been through a lot in their own life. Okay, they had a really bad accident. Okay, and it really did something to their health. Okay, so they struggled. This person knew what it was like to go through some extreme life changes and not lose hope and keep pushing forward and not give up, even though you want to, even though if you have every reason to give up. Okay, this person's life for me was very inspiring, right? And like I said, this person came along, and at the time where I was, dealing with hardship and dealing with struggle, okay, they were just someone that understood me, like on a whole different level. And that could be something that's going on here. Like maybe you have someone in your life where you feel like they understand you different than other people do. Okay. Or especially if you're fighting with others, or you're having conflict in some other kind of relationships, feeling abandoned by other people, there might be this one person. If they haven't come in yet, maybe they'll come in soon. Okay, maybe this person is coming into someone's life, right? Where this person is gonna, they're gonna be like you. And I feel like it's very rare to meet someone where you're like, wow, this kind of freaks me out because I'm not used to people seeing into my soul the way, and it's weird. I'll tell you, it's the weirdest, strangest thing when you meet someone that's also a super empath and kind of psychic, because you'll notice that they're looking into your eyes and reading you, and it's like, stop doing that. Stop doing that. I know what you're doing. Right? And it's weird. So I don't know. Why do you want me to bring that up? Because it has to do with someone, some sort of equal give and take. Six of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. Something about generosity. Okay, all right. So interesting, because this person that I'm talking about, they were also super generous, okay? And it was because, I don't know if it had something to do with this injury, this accident that they had, a traumatic accident that made them just have a different outlook on life. But honestly, I don't know. I don't think it's really that. I feel like this person is just a generous person, right? And that's another thing that you just don't really see. This was someone that they just wanted to give. Like they didn't expect anything in return. Nothing. Right? Nothing. They did it because they wanted to. They did it from their heart. Like they just wanted to give. They just wanted to show support and be nice and be supportive and like make you feel better. Okay? Not in a romantic kind of way, not in a pushy kind of way, not in a I'm buying your affection or I'm buying your friendship or I'm buying this connection. It was really, this person was generous because they wanted to be. And honestly, I feel like you are the same way. You are the same way. So when you meet someone like that, that's exactly like you, it's kind of weird. It's really freaky, okay? Because there's not many of us walking around. You got to be honest, right? The Ace of Cups and the Page of, this is all about giving from the heart. Okay, the Ace of Cups is just giving from the heart. So this is someone, you might be meeting someone, or you have this person in your life where this is someone that wants to give and they give from the heart, or this is you. Okay, they might have bought you things, or someone might want to buy you things, or they want to, send you things, and they do it from the heart. There's no intention behind it. There's absolutely no intention behind it, because I keep thinking about this person and there was no intention behind it, okay? It was literally just, I'm understanding. I know that you're alone. I know that, you feel kind of way, like you can talk to me. It was just like, okay, what else? The Hierophant. It's got something to do with spirituality. Yeah, okay. So one thing about this person, right, is that, for me, when I was conversing with them, there was like, it feels like you have met this person before, right? Because they're so similar to you. So for me, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure that, I've met this soul before. But the bond, it felt very like, okay, I feel like in the last life, we were like a family, okay? Maybe we were like siblings or something like that. It did feel, because it's strange. I'm telling you, guys, put in the comments if you've met someone like you, an empath or a psychic like you in person, and have had a conversation. It's weird because you feel like you feel like this person knows you, even though they don't really, like, they know you because they understand you. It's like they understand the deep complexities of you, and it's like, it's only because they're like psychic like you, right? It's super strange. And I really felt like this person must have been like a family member in the past life. Like it was a weird feeling, right? So it might have something to do with that as well. The Queen of Swords in reverse. This has to do with someone being a liar, being cold-hearted, being bitter about something. The Seven of Wands in reverse. Not being able to, the truth, not being able to defend something here. Defend what? It's that this was not cheating. Yeah, no, you didn't have an affair with this person. This is not like an affair kind of a feeling. Not being able to defend something, not having a third party, not dating someone. What does that mean? Something not being over. Somebody not being able to defend something here. Something was not over. Something was not, somebody did not cheat. Okay, what does that mean? When it comes to somebody giving something to someone. So maybe there's someone here in your life that wants to be generous with you, or they want to give to you, or they want to be kind to you, okay? They're just generous. They're just someone that's very giving, okay? But that doesn't have anything to do with cheating. This person is not going to give you anything because they want to have an affair with you, or because they're, you know, they want some sort of hooking up from you. It's literally just because that's who they are. Or maybe this is about you, okay? Maybe this is your energy. It's like if you're giving to someone, you're giving it from the heart. You're not giving it because you have some sort of intention of getting with them, or having a relationship with them, or cheating with them, or any of that. Okay. The Three of Cups, something about friends, something about a friends group, something about a, or is it about a third party giving something to someone, paying for something? The Ace of Cups, it has to do with a friends group. So maybe you know this person like from the friends group, like maybe you have the same friendship circles, okay? Maybe you've known this person, okay, like from the friends group. It's a social circle. The Tower, the King of Pentacles in reverse. So whoever this is, maybe there's a person here that comes into your life at a time where someone else, a King of Pentacles in reverse, kind of leaves you alone, okay? 10 of Wands, 5 of Wands. That's what that could be, is that maybe at a time of your life where you were really, really struggling and you did not know how to get on, and you did not know how to, you know, and it's not even just that. I don't feel like you're sitting around crying about your money, but if money is a factor, then obviously it's going to stress you out, right? But you could have been dealing with someone in your life, a King of Pentacles in reverse, someone that was very greedy, someone that was very stingy, someone who was very avoidant, someone who, you know, abandoned you, who was fighting with you all the time, who was, you know, not giving to you, who didn't really care about your feelings, didn't really care about your well-being or your state, kind of left you in a rubble of, you know, depression, anxiety, not knowing what's going to happen, feeling very overwhelmed, feeling very burdened. And maybe you have a friend, okay, someone from your friends group, someone from a social circle, or someone you met maybe through friends because you're all part of the same social circle or something like that, who cares about you, who just cares, who just wants to be nice to you, who wanted to be generous to you, with you, who just listened to you, okay? Listen to your problems, listen to you. And maybe, like I said, because I was thinking about this one person. So I feel like whoever the person is that comes in is going to be someone that is highly empathetic, okay? Highly, you know, very understanding, a very, very innocent person, like a very, just a giving person, just someone that has like true intentions. And they're not there to try and, you know, get you in bed. They're not there to try and hook up with you. You know, this could even be someone that you talk to this person about this King of Pentacles in reverse, okay? You're not hiding that you have issues with this person. You're not hiding a certain relationship in your life. You're talking very honestly and openly, because it's like a kind of a confidant at some point, right? A friend that you can confide in. And you're not keeping secrets from this person. This relationship is not about hooking up, cheating, dating. It's about none of that. It's about confiding about, you know, people in your life that are stingy, or that don't give to you, that leave you feeling abandoned, leaving you feeling heartbroken, not understanding why you're being treated this way, okay? So why is this person so significant? I feel like there's a confidant here. Could also have something to do with the Queen of Cups. Maybe you have a friend, a Queen of Cups friend or something like that, okay? Why is this so significant here for the collective that comes in, or that came in the past? This has to do with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Somebody losing a lot of money, losing stability. The Four of Swords. This has to do with someone contemplating something. The Hermit. This has to do with someone going within, seeking answers, going within, searching for the truth, going within and reflecting, feeling isolated. What do you mean? This has something to do with someone's lack of self-worth, someone's lack of self-appreciation, a lack of self-worth. So this time in your life, okay, whenever this was going on, this could have been a time in your life where you were really struggling with your self-worth, okay, where you were really struggling with, like, you know, if you're able to do it, or if you can really take all this burden on, or if it's like, if you're strong enough, right? Like, you know, really negative thoughts about yourself, okay? Or maybe even your strength or your capabilities, right? This was a period of a lot of like isolation for you. So like I said, it could be COVID, honestly, for someone here as well, because the Hermit is all about being isolated, feeling lonely, feeling, you know, like you're just in your head all the time. The Four of Swords, you're just stuck in your head. And then you're dealing with people around you that make you feel abandoned, right? Like they don't care. Okay, so what else? Yeah, you might have been in a relationship with someone here who was acting like a self-absorbed narcissist. You might have felt like you were in a one-sided relationship with someone. And honestly, it feels like someone who's just emotionally completely unavailable. Like someone who just was avoidant. They always fighting with you. They're always giving you the silent treatment, walking in and out. Something about someone likes you. Something about time. Yeah, something about a long time ago. Something about you being able to recognize something in other people because you know what it's like. You being able to see people at a higher level because it's something that you've been through. So what I'm getting here is that speaking very openly and honestly, okay? Like, let's just be very honest about our own shadow today, right? If you feel vulnerable, you're lacking a lot of self-worth, you're lacking, you know, feeling good about yourself, or you're feeling bad about yourself, or you're dealing maybe with someone in a relationship that makes you feel unworthy, or, you know, shuts you out, or gives you the cold shoulder all the time, there might have been someone, or there might be someone that comes into your life and they just make you feel heard. They tell you that they like you, and not in a romantic way, but in a way of like, you know what, hey, I see you. I understand you. Okay? You're a good person. This could have been someone that came into your life and they, you know, they built you up. They told you that you're a great person. They made you feel valuable. They made you feel like you're special. They made you feel like you're, you know, you're an empath. You're very, you know, there's not a lot of people like you. You're different. Okay, they could have just made you feel a way that you know, something that you were lacking from other people around you. This doesn't have to be the opposite sex. For some of you guys, it could even be just another friend, the same sex, okay? Just take it how it resonates. But there was definitely someone here that came in and made you feel like, you know, there's something good about you and it's not worth giving up. Okay, it's not worth like self-deleting over. It's not worth giving up. You need to keep going. Okay, you know, It's not about you, that someone else doesn't see your worth. It's not your fault. You're a good person. There was someone here, or there's someone here that either comes in or there was in the past that is going to give you that feeling. That's going to listen when you feel like no one else does, okay? But stabbed in the back in the reverse, yeah, but it's like, look, let's say this is the opposite sex, okay? Stabbed in the back in the reverse, seduction in the reverse. This is not going to be someone that you cheat with, okay? This is not someone that you're going to have an affair with, because if it's like the person that I'm thinking of, it's going to be someone that you do feel a bond with, okay? It's going to be someone that you feel a little bit like, wow, you really understand me, but it's not going to go anywhere past that, okay? It's not going to be someone that you hook up with and date and flirt and all that, because that's not the kind of connection that it's going to feel like. It's going to be someone that might, make you see things from a different perspective. Like I said, that person I'm thinking of, they had a really bad injury, and it really made me think about, their life and what they were capable of getting through and carrying on with, okay? But this has nothing to do with, stabbing someone else. And this is not about cheating. Okay. And honestly, you are the kind of person that would cut something off anyways. Like this spread is not about someone cheating. All right. And there's not going to be that kind of an attraction in that sense anyways. Right. So sometimes people just, need someone to talk to, okay? Addiction. Addiction. Codependent, obsessive, possessive, controlling. Addiction. Why is addiction here? Meeting and conversing with a friend. Yeah, this was a friend. This was a friend to you. This was someone that made you feel uplifted when you talked to them, okay? This was a friend, or this is a friend. The Seven of Wands and the Fool. And again, the Seven of Wands and the Fool. And I feel like this is someone, okay, this is someone that you're going to end up blocking. Okay. And it could be because, like, especially if it's like a dynamic of the opposite sex. Okay. It's going to be someone that you end up blocking because you don't want it to get too muddy. Okay. It's like, there's going to be a boundary there. I feel like, whoever this person is that comes into your life, or that is in your life, was in your life, it's someone that was there for you in a really hard time. It was someone that you confided in, that you were open with, that you were able to talk to about everything. It was someone that understood you on a deep level, but it was someone also that for you, you had to put a boundary up with this person and make a clear boundary. Okay. That it wasn't, it was not anything more than a friendship. It could never be more than that. Right. And I can only see that happening in, like, relationships or friendships in the opposite sex. And not saying that this person wants more, because they don't. Like, I don't feel like this person necessarily wants more, but they do see you and they do hold you in high regard. Okay. Or they did see you that way in the past. They did like you, but for you and for them, it was clear that, it cannot be more than that. And you're not, this has nothing to do with seduction, cheating, or stabbing someone else in the back. It was like from the very beginning, there was boundaries there, right? That this is like a friendship, and, anything more than that, there's a boundary. Okay. So you put up strong boundaries maybe with this person, or I don't know. That's what it's giving me. The Seven of Cups. Maybe you were confused though. So this could be the kind of a relationship where you start to be confused, right? Because it's real, like I said, it's really strange meeting an empath like you, because it confuses you, because you're like, wow, this person understands me so well. And it can confuse you because the conversations will be, you know, very like empathetic, understanding, very caring. They'll build you up. They'll give you good advice. They'll, you know, listen to you. They'll be very caring. They want to know if you're doing well. You know, they want to help you. They're generous to you because they just do it from an open heart. They're not expecting anything in return. That's just who they are. That's just how they are. Okay. But if you're, you know, speaking to someone like that, you might get a bit confused and a bit conflicted. Okay. Because you have strong boundaries. For you, it's like, no, this is a friendship and it's not more than that. But the confusing part about it is like, wow, this person understands me better than anyone I've ever met. And it's like, you might get to a point with this person where you have to, you know, make a choice, right? Where it's like, you know, yes, it feels like a weird bond, like it feels like a weird connection, like a past life connection, like I've met you before, or maybe we were family in the past. It feels like that, but you have to make like, you know, a choice as to if this is even something that is like, I don't even have to say it's like a choice. I feel like you already made the choice. Okay. The choice for you was that this is nothing that goes beyond a friendship. Okay. And you had strong boundaries with this person. I feel like you would have never allowed it to get anywhere near any kind of physical intimacy or even building up relationship or feelings of intimacy, feelings of romance. But if someone understands you like that on a deep level, it makes you confused because you get confused about the bond, right? It's like, it takes a lot of like inner work to kind of figure out like what is going on here, right? What's going on within me and what's going on with this friendship, because, you know, I feel drawn there because they understand me so well, and I feel drawn to this person because they're there for me on a whole different level than anything I've ever experienced. But at the same time, it's like, it's kind of weird and creepy when you feel too similar to someone. That also doesn't make necessarily like a viable connection because you feel like you're too similar. Okay. So, you know, it feels more like a brother or a sister in a past life kind of a thing. Right. But yeah, for some reason there's like this confusion here. So what's the 7 of Cups? Healthy choices. Yeah, you could have been a bit confused about what choice to make, okay? Or just you're not really knowing, like, it's giving me like, you knew in the back of your head what the right choice is, okay? And that you're going to make that choice. But it's like, it's more like looking at the whole situation and being confused. It's like, what is this? Like, why is this in my life? Like, why did this happen? Like, you know, what is this connection? Okay. Like, why do we understand each other so well? And like, why do you understand me so well? And like, you know, what does this mean? It's like just trying to figure out what this even is, and not like on a love relationship kind of a way. Like, I'm trying to figure out like my feelings for this person, but maybe a little bit too. Okay. Maybe a little bit too, but there is a boundary there. I feel like with you had a strong boundary that you were not willing to cross, and not just physical, but also emotionally. Like, you really put up a boundary within yourself and said, this is all a little bit weird and I'm not really understanding what this is right now, but there's a boundary here and I don't want to develop feelings for this person. Like, I really don't. Okay. Because it's, you know, what is this connect? What is this bond? It felt like you had to figure it out. Okay. Yeah, you did not have a one-night stand with this person. Yo, seduction, one-night stand, and stabbed in the back keeps coming out in reverse. For you, it was clear, like from the very beginning of meeting this person, there's no romantic attraction there. You're not going to sleep with this person. You did not sleep with this person. This is someone you had no intimacy with. You did not kiss them. You did not sleep with them. You did not talk about these things. There was no intimacy. You did not cheat with this person. You did not have a one-night, nothing. This is not a romantic sexual relationship at all. Okay, you did not sleep with this person, and you also didn't want that. Okay, you don't want that with this person. That's not what this bond was, is what I'm feeling here. Okay, for someone, that's not what you were trying to, sift through. It's more about like, whoever you are, you're sifting through this weird, like, this weird thing where it's like you meet someone that's like exactly like you, and it's like, why do you understand me so well? Like, it's kind of, especially if you've never met someone like that, it's weird, right? Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. This is the truth about this connection. Or you figured it out, or you had clarity. Okay. And I feel like from the very beginning of you even talking to this person, when they came into your life during a hard time, you knew from the very beginning, like, this is nothing, this is a friendship. We're just talking. I enjoy the company because you understand me so well. And I feel like I'm talking to myself, okay, in a weird kind of way. But it's like nothing beyond that. Nothing. Not even emotionally. I feel like with this person, you definitely put up an emotional wall and said, I'm not going to allow myself to put up any kind of feelings for this person because it doesn't feel right. Like, this connection doesn't feel like that's what it is. Okay. And you might have actually broken off contact with this person completely to uphold that boundary. Okay. When you realize, like, what, this is, thank you so much for being there for me. And thank you so much for, having these conversations with me, and like, being there for me. But it's kind of like, what this kind of is? It's like when you have a friend, and the friend, especially opposite sex, like, the friend gets a little bit too, like, it starts to feel a little bit too much, and then you have to friend zone them. Okay, you have to like put up the boundary and be like, you know what, like, we have this connection and I can feel it, and it's there, but I have to put up a boundary. Okay, this has to be friend zone. Okay, so maybe you even cut this person off completely because you just felt uncomfortable. Like, maybe at some point the friendship started to feel uncomfortable for you. Okay, it started to feel like it was overstepping a boundary, and it didn't. Like, the thing is, though, in this sense, I feel like you did everything correctly. You did everything right, because whatever was going on here with this person, it never went to any kind of intimacy. Okay, you were never intimate with this person. It keeps coming out in the reverse. You were never intimate with them. And I could have told you that even without the cards being in reverse, but that was just a nice confirmation. Okay, you never had, romantic feelings. You never talked to this person in a romantic way. You never, it was never going to go there, not even emotionally. Okay. And you did everything correctly, because when you started to feel like it was going too far, you cut it off. Okay. I feel like you, as the collective, you never overstepped any kind of boundaries here. You didn't. This was a friend. For whoever you are, this was a friend. Now, I don't know why that's relevant for someone here to understand, but I guess for someone here it is relevant because it's coming out in the message. So what's being exposed here? Seven of Swords reverse. Something about a marriage. Wedding rings. Something about a marriage. And love. Something about love and marriage. What does that mean? This has something to do with the past. Six of Cups. Okay, so you know what else I'm getting? Okay, so this could be for some of you, okay? Doesn't have to be for all of you, but maybe you met someone here in a time where you were already dating someone else. Okay, and like I said, this person was a friend. So maybe you met them through mutual friends, or you've known them before or something like that. This was just a friend. Okay. But maybe you were already dating someone else, this King of Pentacles in reverse, someone who was not there for you, someone that left you out, someone that gave you the silent treatment. Okay. And maybe for some of you, whoever you met back then, that person was a test. Okay. Maybe you didn't see it back then. Healthy choices. Maybe you didn't realize that that's what it was, but it kind of feels like maybe this person was sent to you as a test. And you passed the test. And I can tell you why. Because first of all, I'm pretty sure that you talking to this friend, you were talking to them very openly about the fact that you were in a relationship, if that's what it is, okay? You didn't have any kind of secrets. You were not talking to this friend and pretending like you're not in a relationship. If anything, I'm pretty sure you were talking about your relationship to this person and confiding in them. Okay, maybe you were just, talking about your life and how hard things are and how you're being treated. Okay, and that, it's just a lot, right? This could have been someone that then built you up and told you that you're great and you know what, you so this and you're so that, blah, blah. Right? I see all these things in you. It's what they say. It's their fault if they don't see blah, 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 right? That kind of a thing. And not just that, you might have even mentioned to your partner that you were in communication with this person. Okay, that this is a friend, right? So there's no secrets that were here. I don't feel like there were any secrets here. You didn't have a secret that you were in a relationship, if that's what it is, with this friend, because that's all they were. They were a friend. And you might have even told your partner that this person is a friend, or that this person texted you or something like that because they're a friend. Right? And even if you had conversations, deep conversations, personal conversations with this person that made you feel confused, because yeah, 7 of Cups, it's going to make you conflicted. If you're in a relationship with someone that is leaving you out in the cold, making you feel alone, giving you the silent treatment, treating you like an option, treating you like shit, okay? Going to parties and just leaving you home alone. And then you have this friend that's over here and is caring for you, being super empathetic, being super compassionate, understanding you on a whole different level. The confliction comes in with this weird question of like, why are you able to be this way to me and they're not? Like, why are you able to understand me like this and they don't? Why are you able to listen to me and hear me and they don't? Like, but it comes to the point where you make a choice, okay? And the choice is, I feel, you did the right thing. Because the right thing at this point is that there's still you still have to have morals. You still have to have integrity. Okay. You still have to have boundaries that you are not willing to overcross. And it doesn't have anything to do with the other person. It's about your personal morals, your personal integrity. And even if you're dating someone that's kind of a piece of shit at that time, okay, and they're kind of treating you like crap, are you the kind of person that's going to overstep boundaries? Are you the kind of person that's going to, step out or let something go too far? And you're not. And you weren't. Okay? So at the point, I feel like whoever this is, at the point where you felt like things, the bond is getting too intense, okay? Or the conversations are getting too deep, or you're feeling a bit like too understood from this person. Like you felt like, it felt uncomfortable. It felt kind of uncomfortable. You started to kind of contemplate like, this is feeling a bit too like, I don't want to build an emotional bond here. I'm already, over here kind of a thing. That's what this feels like for some of you, right? You did everything right. I don't think you have anything to feel bad about, because you told this person that you were in a relationship. You didn't hide anything. You made it clear that you're not going to overstep any boundaries. You had no physical cheating with this person. Okay. You didn't give them the idea that they had a chance either. Okay. You friend zoned this person. You made it clear that you're in a relationship. You might have talked to them about your relationship, but you never overstepped the boundary of, having any kind of physical romantic relationship with them. And when you felt like something was getting too uncomfortable with an emotional bond, you cut it off. Okay. And you might have cut this person out of your life forever. And that has nothing to do with like, the other relationship. That I feel like that test was for your own character and your own integrity and you did the right thing. You upheld your own values. When you felt like something was crossing a line, you cut it off. When you felt like something was, and not afterwards, not the kind of like, oh, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have done that. No, this was like, no, we're friends, we're having deep convos, you know, thanks for understanding me, but like, I'm not this kind of a person. Like, I can't do this. I can't do it. I can't do this. Okay. This is not me. Okay. You know, and then I feel like the Seven of Cups comes in where it's like, it's weird because it's like, it's a person that you feel like understands you way differently than the person that is absolutely abandoning you and treating you like shit. But even they don't, like, it's not about them. It's about you and what kind of a person you are, what kind of values you have, right? So, yeah, the past. So what else? The past. So I wanted to know, what is the Six of Cups? And the Six of Cups comes out. So this has something to do with the past for someone, okay? Someone that was a friend of yours in the past. Someone that you friend zoned in the past. Someone you considered a good friend, okay? A good friend. Nothing sexual. Nothing romantic. A friend, okay? A friend. And this could even be soul tribe. Ooh, soul tribe, right? And who do we have underneath that? The Queen of Cups. Yeah, it's giving me soul tribe. Like I said, it's going to be a kind of a connection where, like, that reminded me of that person that I'm talking about. It's going to be that kind of a connection that you're thinking of, okay? Or that you met. It's going to be someone that you feel like you've met them before, okay? Or is there's someone that they're like you. Like, they're like you, like freakishly like you. It's like, why are we so similar? It's kind of weird, okay? The Lovers. Or this has to do with a past relationship. This has to do with someone walking away, a lot of money. I feel like the Two of Swords, honestly, this is you. This is your energy towards this person. It's like you have a strong boundary with them and you walked away. It's like you put up a strong boundary. You're like, this is my boundary. You're not crossing it. I'm not crossing it. You have boundaries with yourself. And that is the most important thing. Okay. Honestly, you have to have boundaries with yourself, because if you don't have your own boundaries, then what's going to stop other people from crossing them? Okay. You have to know, you know, I don't want this. This is not me. I'm not going to do this. Okay. This is going too far. And then you cut it off. You walked away from this person. Okay. The Nine of Pentacles. This is giving me generosity. Okay. And honestly, the Nine of Pentacles, like, again, maybe this person is wealthy, okay? Because also what I'm getting for someone here is that whoever this is that either came into your life or is coming into your life as a test, this person is going to be wealthy, okay? And maybe, oh, I just connected the dots in my mind, okay? Because you're going through a time of maybe hardship in your life. King of Pentacles in reverse, someone who's stingy, someone who doesn't give to you, someone who leaves you out in the cold, someone who leaves you to struggle financially, maybe even leaves you in a lot of poverty, right? And then all of a sudden someone comes along that has a lot of money. They have a lot to give, okay? They could be very wealthy. And I feel like what you didn't know back then is that this person was actually a test. It was like, are you going to uphold your true integrity and your true values, even if someone like this walks through the door? Because I feel like whoever you were dating was, you know, not really the optimal partner, if I'm being honest, okay? I mean, someone that gives you the silent treatment, someone that makes you feel like you're abandoned, someone who's fighting with you all the time and stingy and, you know, non-committal and unavailable, that is not the optimal partner. And all of a sudden here comes this person that's very wealthy. They have a lot to give. They're very generous with their money, okay? They like you, okay? They think that, you know, you're one of a kind. You know, they spend time talking to you. They have this affinity towards you. And it's like, you know, and maybe you see this person as being someone that's very empathetic. I feel like that's very important here. Okay? That this person understands you. And it's like Spirit put someone right in your face and was like, how much integrity do you really have? Do you have the values that you state you do? And you want to know what? You pass the test. The fact that this person was generous to you, maybe in the past, okay? Maybe they sent you money in the past, or, you know, maybe they bought you something in the past. I don't know. They did that from their own heart. They did that because they wanted to, because they're an empath, because they're like, you know, one of the super empaths walking around, okay? Because they're like you. They did that because they wanted to, and not because there was a relationship there. They did that maybe even to help you, okay? Maybe they felt bad for you because, you know, your partner's, you know, doesn't help you at all and leaves you stranded, right? Maybe they did that to help you. I don't know. They wanted to give you something. They wanted to be nice to you. Even that, you are probably the kind of person that says, this is too much. I want to send this back to you, okay? I don't want to take your money. But I feel like it was a test. Because if you're not someone with integrity, values, and morals, and, you know, you hold yourself in high regard, I feel like this is the kind of person you could have easily taken advantage of. Okay, if you feel like, oh, this is like a friend kind of a thing, and then, oh, they got a lot of money. It was like, are you willing to, you know, what are you willing to give up here because this person has money? You weren't interested in the money. Okay, you walked away. You're not willing to put a price on it, right? You could have easily taken advantage of this person. You could have easily dropped your other relationship, okay, or cheated on your other relationship with this dude or this girl over here, this new person that's so understanding and has so much money that could take care of you. You could have done that, but you didn't. And you probably didn't even want this person to send you anything. They did it because they wanted to. You didn't ask for it. You never asked for it. You didn't want this. You might have even asked to send it back. Okay? But I want to say that wherever you are, you passed a significant test, because that's what it feels like, honestly. You passed a big test here, a big test, because you didn't cheat. You didn't fall into temptation, okay? You didn't fall into the temptation of money. You didn't fall into temptation of, you know, someone that you feel like understands you and is caring. You didn't. And even if that person over there treats you like shit, you're still not going to cheat on that person. You're still not going to be that kind of a person. You're still not going to do that to them. You didn't have a relationship with them. And then, you know, to top it all off, I'm pretty sure that you put up strong boundaries and walked away when you felt like this is crossing the friendship line. It's starting to cross the friendship line. And right now, crossing the friendship line, I'm uncomfortable. Even though I really like you, even though we have, you know, we're nice to each other, even though, you know, you could, you have a lot of money, even then, here's the line. Okay, we're not crossing the friendship line. All right. So you passed a test. Okay, you didn't do anything. All right. You didn't have any kind of cheating with this person at all, and you blocked it off when you felt like it was going too far. And you want to know what? You can be really proud of yourself, because I feel like there's people here in this world that they don't realize when they're going too far. Okay? Not many people are capable of realizing, this is going a little bit too far past the friendship line. Okay? And we need to cut this off right now. Not many people are willing to put up a boundary like that. Not many people know their own boundaries. Not many people have the discipline to do that. They're like, oh, this is nice. The person's spending money. I'm just going to go for it. Fuck that person, right? Not literally. I mean, like, fuck the other guy. Well, it's not what I mean. I mean, like, screw the relationship, right? That's what I mean. That's what I meant to say. Okay. What's the Four of Wands? The Nine of Cups. This has to do with you feeling good about yourself, feeling confident. The Two of Pentacles. something about a home, something about making a decision when it comes to your happiness, okay? Yeah, again, it's like, yeah, maybe you were conflicted in the past. You're like, you know, where am I happy? What is my happiness? Who do I want? What do I want? You know, who am I? What am I? What is this? What does this mean? Okay, what does all this mean? It's a choice. You had to make a choice. Okay, you had two options. I feel like one of you guys here, you had two options. You had someone treating you like shit, and then you had someone coming in who was really nice to you and had a lot of money, and you had a choice to make, okay? You had a choice to make. The Two of Wands, you had a choice to make. You had a choice to make. You had to make a choice. You had to make a choice, okay? And you made the choice, Wheel of Fortune, and you made your choice. This was the day you made your choice. You made your choice. You did. You did. And you chose this. King of Pentacles. Well, I don't know if that's who you chose, okay? But King of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck, okay? So you made your choice. Wheel of Fortune. So why is the Wheel of Fortune here? The Ace of Coins, the King of Wands, and the Chariot. This has something to do with a King of Wands and someone traveling and something about a gift. So maybe this person came to see you in a car, the Chariot. Maybe this person traveled. Maybe this person traveled to see you. I don't know. Ace of Coins. Maybe they got you a gift. Yeah, I feel like that's the person that you were like confused about, right? Yeah. Wheel of Fortune. You made your choice. Okay? And even if this person came to see you, nothing happened. Nothing. Absolutely nothing happened. Okay? Nothing. Maybe a conversation. That's about it. The Page of Pentacles. This has to do with an investment. Okay? Or somebody buying something. The Nine of Cups. This has to do with some sort of... What is the Nine of Cups? This is about feeling happy or wondering about maybe your happiness or what makes you happy. Addiction. Why does addiction keep coming out? Why does addiction keep coming out? Main female, despair in reverse. This has to do with a main female and somebody wanting the pain to stop or somebody coming out of despair. Maybe you also confided in this person about a struggle with addiction, okay? Maybe to this time you were struggling with addiction when you were going through something here. Thoughts. Something about your thoughts. Yeah, you shared your thoughts with this person, possibly, okay? Yeah, now something is exposed. Okay, the rain just started. I hope you guys can hear me still. Now someone is exposed, okay? So something has now been exposed. A thief, a false person. What's been exposed? Something about you feeling heartbroken, a breakup, you feeling lost, grieving, mourning. Yeah, I feel like that's when you confided in this person. Like, whenever this person came into your life, it was a time where you were very heartbroken, okay? Where you maybe felt very lost. You could have been struggling a lot with depression. You could have been struggling with anxiety. You could have been struggling with addiction. You could have been struggling. Generally, you were struggling, okay? Struggling with your self-worth, struggling with your purpose. You were struggling in this time when this person came into your life, okay? Yeah, you were dealing with someone who was extremely narcissistic towards you. Someone that was very one-sided with you. Someone who didn't care about you. Someone who neglected you. Okay, honestly. King of Pentacles in reverse, this is someone that neglected you emotionally. They neglected you physically. They neglected you mentally. They neglected you financially. They neglected you completely. And someone came into your life And they could have given you everything. They could have been there for you emotionally. They could have been there for you mentally. And they could have been there for you financially. Everything. And you still turned it down. You turned it down. I can see it in this spread. You turned that person down. They were a friend to you. They were nice to you. But even everything that they could have offered you, you would have never forgotten your personal boundaries. You would have never forgotten your personal integrity and your values. Okay, so you could be someone you have a serious value when it comes to cheating. You don't cheat on people. You could have had a string of shitty exes and you never cheated on not one of them. You could be extremely, like, that is like a core value for someone here. I will not cheat. I will not allow cheating. I will not overstep that boundary because I don't believe in it. I don't want to be that person. I will never be that person. I don't want to be the other woman either. Okay? So in your case, God sent you the test. You passed. Because as soon as it got too uncomfortable, like a little bit too much more than friendship, and you felt the bond was getting a little bit too strong, and you felt like you were talking to this person maybe more than you were talking to your partner, that's when you're like, I can't do this. This does not feel right. This is not, I don't want this. I don't want to be this way. I don't want to live like this. This is not who I am. This is overstepping a boundary for me. And you probably turned down a person that is a great person. And it had nothing to do with them. It was the fact that you don't want to do that. And I feel like Spirit is like, you can clap, really. Because not many people can put a stop to things like you can. Okay? Not many people have personal boundaries. Not many people have this kind of integrity. Not many people would have said no to something that seemed like it was a lot more than what you were getting with that other person. And you still turned it down. And you still had a boundary. You still turned it down. Okay? And I'm proud of you for doing that. Really, I am. Yeah. This happened. Something about time. This could have happened a long time ago. This could have happened a long time ago for someone here. Okay? So what's being exposed though? Thief in reverse, false person in reverse. Something is now being exposed to the Emperor. So now there's an Emperor here that now understands something maybe, or sees something clearly, okay? Understands something here about an Empress. Something about an Empress. Or something about being able to see each other on the same level. Something about being able to see each other. This is giving me what I keep saying in my readings. It's like being able to see someone at the level that they're at. Yeah, that's what this is giving me for some reason. Okay, so yeah, because you don't understand other people unless you've gone through it yourself. The difference is though, some people know when to draw the line. Some people have integrity. Some people have respect for themselves and for their partner, or respect for the relationship, even though they're being treated like shit. Because it's not about the person at the end of the day, it's about the principle. Are you someone who has principles? Are you someone who has discipline? And you are. You are. Okay? And whatever this person was in your past, that was the test, and you passed it. You passed the test, and you probably never got tested again. After that person, you never got tested again because that was the test. And you passed it. You don't have to keep repeating the same lesson over and over again if you learned the lesson. Right? So. All right. So, what's the Page of Wands? This has to do with some sort of communication, a message. The King of Wands. And the Empress. This has to do with a message. King of Wands and Empress. What is that? the message about working on something, putting in the work, working on something, wanting to work on something, child. Someone is innocent because someone does the work. What is that? Heartbroken. This has to do with some sort of message here about someone grieving, someone feeling lost, someone feeling hurt and sad. Heartbroken, grieving and mourning. Yeah, why are you so heartbroken, right? Why are you so heartbroken about someone? So let's say, okay, so let's say at some point, because that's kind of what happens, right? We mirror each other in relationships, or we go through the same tests. So let's say the person that you were dating, they failed the test. They met someone, they were feeling insecure, they were feeling unhappy, and they let it go way too far. They didn't put a stop to it. They didn't tell the person, no, I'm sorry. They didn't tell the person, I have a partner, I'm in a relationship. They didn't tell the person, no, I can't go and take you out to dinner. No, I can't come over to your house and, fuck you on the sofa, right? So let's say that you were in a relationship where that person went way too far. They didn't put a stop to it. And that could be heartbreaking. That could be very heartbreaking then to sit there and realize that you chose someone. You went through a test in the past and you chose someone. You chose to be with them. You chose to block out someone else. You chose to put up a boundary and draw a line. You chose to say no. Okay, you chose your own integrity. You chose to not let things go too far. You chose to put up a boundary. You chose these things because you chose the other person, only to then realize that they didn't do the same thing. They failed. And most likely not just once, but many times. Every single time they got the opportunity, every single time someone came by and told them what they want to hear and, made them feel good about themselves, they failed every single time. And you only had one test, one single person. Because that's not who you are. You only need one test. You turned that person down. You didn't let it go too far. You kept them at a friendship level. When it got uncomfortable, you cut them off. You never let it get anywhere near a romantic relationship. You never had any kind of sex with them. You never let it get that far. You made it very, very clear that it's only a friendship. You made it very, very clear that it cannot go any farther than that. And the person that you're with, they didn't do the same thing. You passed, they failed. That's the difference. And then you have every reason to be heartbroken, realizing that the person that you chose never chose you. Never chose you, not in the same way. Never had themselves under control. And not just that, doesn't have the same values as you do, apparently. They don't have the same character, okay? Twin flames. You want to know what twin flames means? It's a mirror. It's your mirror. So maybe you chose the person that you thought was your twin flame. Now, if you meet someone, hold on. If you meet someone in life and you feel like they are weirdly similar to you, like they're almost like you come from the same soul family, like you were brother and sister in the past life, that's not your twin flame. That's not your mirror image, even though, you might think that, but that's not really what it is. Because for me, it's the balance of the light and the dark. Okay. So take it how you want it. You guys can all believe what you want, but for me, it's like, it's the duality, right? It's the complementing each other. It means that you both have like similar lessons to go through, okay? Or you have things that they don't have, or you mirror things back to each other about yourselves, right? So, it's about like if you're the kind of person that you would never cheat, that's the kind of person they cheat all the time. Right? It doesn't have to necessarily be the twin flame journey, but you know, what I'm getting here in this situation is that there was something here that was being like mirrored. You got put in the test, they got put in the test. Okay? You have values that they don't have. They might have values that you don't have. Okay? There's something here about, you know, balancing the light and the dark. And yeah, that didn't really work out, right? Yeah. So that's the truth. So I feel like although you knew that the person that you were with at that time wasn't necessarily the best partner, there was still there was a different kind of a connection. There was a different kind of a more intimate connection that felt more like your life's path. It felt more like a romantic relationship than this other person did. The other person felt more like a friendship. Okay. The snake. Competition, enemy, clever, malicious. Look over your shoulder. The other woman. Why is that? Seduction wants to come out. Yeah. When someone feels insecure. Or no, this is the same. You guys got the same test. You got literally the same exact test. You were in a time where you felt insecure, where you were lacking self-worth, where you were going through hardship, where your life felt very hard, and Spirit presented you the opportunity to cheat. And you didn't. And you blocked it. And you recognized it. And you completely annihilated it. You cut the root off. Okay? Before it even had a chance. This person that you're dealing with also felt insecure, also felt insignificant, also was struggling with self-worth. And they snaked you. They snaked you many times. Many times. You guys had the same exact test. You guys both got the snake. I mean, it could also just be temptation, right? The snake can represent temptation. So both of you were presented with some sort of temptation in a time where you were feeling a lack of self-worth, a lack of appreciation, maybe from the other person as well. Right? The snake came in a time where you felt abandoned. You felt like this person didn't care about you. The snake came in, offered temptation to you. Okay, maybe like even I said, someone that doesn't stingy with the money, they don't pay for anything. All of a sudden someone comes into your life that has a lot of money. They could give you a lot and you still said no. You still said no to the temptation. Because that's not what it's about. Your person also got a snake temptation. They failed. They failed the test. Okay. So what else here? Three of Wands reverse. Justice. That's why you get justice. That's why you're going to get justice for this. Because you paid your karmic dues. You paid off your karmic debt. You didn't create karma for yourself because you did the right thing. Okay? Honestly, that's what I feel with that one. Yeah, the Hermit and the Four of Swords. You went within. You recognized that you needed to go within. Okay? That you needed to be in solitude. That you needed to be in isolation. That this person was giving you something. Okay, this friend was giving you something that your person wasn't. But you realize that that was something within yourself. Okay? You went within. That experience made you go within, okay? And recognize that you have a wound within and that your person is maybe, you know, bringing that out of you, but that doesn't mean that there's something like it's wrong. There's something wrong with you or you're not worthy or you're not good enough. But you took the time to isolate and go within. It's like you didn't go and fall into the temptation because it presented itself. Okay? And also this person might be someone, you know, whoever you met, it might also be someone also that's like very wise, okay? They know a lot of things. They have a lot of wisdom. They made you contemplate. They made you think about things in a different way, okay? Maybe they had some sort of, you know, extreme life experiences that made you see things differently, and it made you think. It made you think about, you know, yourself, okay? The Eight of Pentacles. Something about working on something, mastering something. A fight with a family. A fight about a family. Fighting about family. Fighting about, having an argument about family. Or fighting with family. What's that about? About money. Okay, so maybe this person, whoever they are, they also came into your life at a time where you were isolated from working. Okay, so again, like, I don't know, COVID, right? Like 2020 time or something like that. Or it doesn't have to be that, but something about you working. You were isolated. You were home alone a lot. You couldn't work. Okay, you couldn't do anything. You were isolated from working or from your job. Okay, maybe this is a reason why this person was generous to you. This is why they sent you some sort of money, or they wanted to help you. It could be because they knew that you were struggling financially. Okay. A great fortune. Well, I don't know if they gave you a great fortune, but like, I don't know, this person might be wealthy. And for them, maybe it just wasn't much. Okay. Maybe it just wasn't much. I don't know. Maybe you were like, I don't want this money. Okay. I don't want this money. Send it back. I'm going to send it back. I don't want to take money from you. And this person was like, they have enough. Like, oh, they have enough. You know, they have enough money. It's no big deal. Okay. They, you know, they like doing this. They're nice. I don't know. Could be something like that. Yeah. This relationship. Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with having a relationship, or this is just this friendship, okay? Why is courtship here? It's about this person giving you the money and you wanting to return it. Yeah, I feel like they sent you money and you're like, I don't want it. I want to send it back. This is like too much, or I don't want this. I don't want you to help me. I don't want this money. Like, it's just too much. Okay, this is too much. Something about a betrayal, something about a betrayal and a lover. No, you didn't offer to send the money back because of a betrayal. You offered to send the money back because you didn't want to take it. Because you felt bad taking money. Like, I don't want this money. You didn't have to send me this. I feel like this person wanted to help you or wants to be generous to you because they want to, you know, they know that you're going through a hard time and they just want to help in a time where you maybe didn't have work, or you were struggling financially, or they just wanted to be nice and, you know, just help. Like, just because they have the money. It's like someone who's a millionaire being like, here, I'll send you this. And you're like, I don't want this. Take it back. And they're like, no, it's fine. Like, they don't, you know, they don't care. It's not that much anyways. Like, you know, they have so much anyways. It doesn't matter. But you didn't want to send the money back because you betrayed someone or because this was a romantic relationship. This didn't have anything to do with cheating. This money had nothing to do with cheating. Nothing. The Sun in reverse. It had to do with you being depressed. Someone sent someone money here because you were depressed, okay? Because you were struggling. You were depressed. And this person just wanted to help. They just want to help. That's it. It had no intention behind it. It was no, oh, I'm sending you money because of some cheating. No, it was just because, I feel sorry for you. You're really struggling. You can't work right now. You're out of a job. You're just isolated. You're talking about, maybe self-deleting because you don't know how to pay your bills. You're like really going through it because you can't work. Maybe you have a child, okay? Maybe you're sitting there going, I don't know how to do this. I don't have money. I don't have a job. I can't pay for anything. I don't know I'm not going to get work anymore. And they're like, you know what? I'm going to send you some money. And you're like, I don't want this. This is too much. Like, I want to send it back. And then someone's like, no, that's fine. Like they have a lot. Could be a millionaire. I don't know. Someone who has a lot of money. They're like, don't worry about it. And you're like, I don't want to take it. It has nothing to do with cheating. It has everything to do with depression. Okay. And someone just being nice. It's not a relationship. How many more times? I mean, maybe this Queen of Cups keeps coming out. Maybe this is something you told this Queen of Cups. I don't know. Maybe this is like another person in the friend group is kind of what I'm getting. Like Queen of Cups is someone that also knows the person that you're talking to. Okay. Like everybody's friends with each other here. Okay. So maybe you were confiding in this Queen of Cups and telling her like, oh my God, they sent me money. I don't want the money. I want to send it back. Like, this is too much. And Queen of Cups is like, oh, man, they're a millionaire. Like, just take the money. I mean, they do that for everyone. They're just nice. They're just being nice. Like, it's not so bad. It doesn't mean anything. Okay. Just take it. They're just being nice to you. They wouldn't want you to send it back. This is someone that they might have said something like they wouldn't even want you to send it back to them. They don't want you to send it back. They're doing it out of their kindness of their heart. Okay. It could be a whole friends group where everybody knew each other here. Okay. That's kind of what I'm getting. The Queen of Wands. The Five of Cups. This has to do with someone feeling sad and depressed. About a Queen of Wands. Queen of Pentacles. Or maybe these are the other women. I don't know. Or the other people. It's like, why do I feel like it's like, why are you so... I don't know. If someone asking that question, it's like, well, why are you so sad about this Queen of Wands and this Queen of Pentacles or this Queen of whoever? Why are you so sad about the other people? Because you didn't cheat. That's why. I don't know. Is that what the question is? Why do I feel like someone is like going to try and throw that in your face? It's like someone that is a cheater, someone that has lied to you and betrayed you multiple times. Okay. Someone who has had actual third parties behind your back, someone who's actually gone all the way with other people behind your back, someone who's actually out here, hooking up with other people. And then they're bringing up this one friend, but it's like, but there was nothing there. But you didn't have an affair. You didn't have any romance. You didn't cheat with this person. This was just a friend. This is just someone that was nice to you. This is just someone that cared about you and your well-being. You didn't go all the way with this person. You didn't cheat with this person. You didn't allow any kind of romantic feelings for this person. This was not even an emotional affair. You couldn't even consider it that. It was something that you recognized instantly and you're like, this is getting too much, too uncomfortable, too personal. Okay, I have to cut this off immediately. Honestly, I feel like most people in relationships would want someone like you. Because you're someone you would never cheat. Even if the opportunity presents itself, which in your case, it 100% did. You had every opportunity to do it and you didn't do it. You did not do it. You caught it and you ixed it out immediately when you realized this is more than a friendship. This is getting too uncomfortable. This is going in a direction where I don't like it. It's going against my own values. It's making me uncomfortable, and I'm going to stop it right now. There was no sexting, no flirting, no cheating, no dating, no none of that. So yes, you have every right to feel sad, hurt, heartbroken, and devastated about the person that you chose. Did not choose you. You passed your test back then. You held up your own values and your own integrity and you turned this person away And the person that you're with didn't do the same. Yes, you have every right to be hurt about the person. They didn't pass their test. They cheated. They let things go way too far. They didn't put a stop to things. They didn't make a choice. They just let things go all the way, way too far. It would have been different. Okay, let's say, look, it would have been a different story. Let's say your boyfriend, your girlfriend goes to the club, goes to the bar, picks up a number, texts a little bit, gets a guilty conscience and says, hey, you know, blocks the number. This can't go anywhere. Done. If your person had put a stop to it immediately, realizing, no, this is wrong. I don't feel comfortable doing this. I don't want to be texting here behind someone's back. I can't let this go any further. This is getting too uncomfortable, and would have cut it off immediately. That would have been a different story. But they didn't do that. Your person went all the way to Sunday, okay? And they did not give you the same respect in the relationship. They didn't choose you the same way that you did. You both had the same test, I'm pretty sure. You passed, they failed. And I know that you passed. I know that you passed. There is nothing here, nothing that even indicates that you cheated on them, because you didn't. You didn't. You didn't. You didn't even let it come that far. Okay? The Knight of Cups. Yeah, it's all about someone being very caring, being very empathetic, being very understanding, you know, being very nice, being nice to someone, caring about someone. Yeah. Yeah, now something is exposed. Okay. Strength at the bottom. Now something is exposed about this person. Why do I feel like it's now something is exposed about the person, your friend? Why did that happen? Why is this person even in the equation? Because they were nice. Because they were caring. Because they were empathetic. Because they were an empath. Because they were generous. Because they were just a nice person. That's it. That's all it was. Okay? Okay, closing words. Closing words, the sun. Yeah, this is the truth. Okay? Now something is out in the light. Now everything is exposed. All right. All right. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Okay? I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.